Hi, this is Vinny from the iMoot team in Pukunui. I'd just like to welcome you all to one of our sponsor sessions. I'd like to introduce Dom Seneque from the Perth Pukunui office, who's just going to be sharing a few words about Pukunui and the kind of things that we do. So thank you very much, Dom, for presenting today.
Thank you, Vinny, and hello, everyone. A little bit about myself, Dom Seneque, been born and bred in Perth all my life, which is in Australia, and been with Pukunui for about 8 years now. Prior to that, previous IT experience in IT industry for about 30 years, so been around a long time. Currently my role here in Pukunui is the business manager, so which just basically means I make sure the business keeps running. Now, briefly, the presentation today is just a little bit about Pukunui and what we do and how we do it. Now, these slides may later be used as a business plan if you want to go into facilitating education. Take this presentation to your bank manager and you should be all right. But for now, what does Pukunui mean? Pukunui is actually a Maori word for big belly. And the story behind it is Shane, our director, used to call his dad Pukunui, and so for some reason that stuck. So one must be careful when one thinks of one's company name, I always say, because it's an interesting name. All right. Oh, by the way, if you have any questions along the way, please don't hesitate to type it in, because that'd be fine. Don't have a problem there. And what do we do? Well, basically, Pukunui, we like the catchphrase facilitating education, and we do that predominantly through three areas. The first area being online hosting and support, and I'll go into more detail about that. But basically, we host Moodle sites and we support them and we help people around that area. We also provide training and consulting, so we provide that in Australia as well as in Hong Kong and KL and other places. And finally, we build custom solutions and integrations, typically as Moodle plugins. And so that varies considerably as to what people want, and we build all sorts of solutions effectively via our development team. Okay. Now, in drilling down a little bit more in relation to online hosting, how that actually works, well, basically, we partner with Amazon Web Services, who are very good, and basically we create a web server for one of our clients. We install Moodle on there, and then we configure Moodle on there. But we don't just stop there once we do that. I suppose the value adding that we end up then doing is that we then look at installing plugins. We have a chat to our clients, and we try and find out what it is that they're trying to achieve out of their Moodle. And so rather than just say, here's a blank Moodle and off you go, we have a chat to them. We try and ascertain where they want to go with their Moodle, because what we found, obviously, if we're able to help them kickstart as at the very beginning, that makes it good for them and makes it good for us, because they'll continue hosting with us. So that would sometimes include us installing some useful plugins. There are a lot of plugins out there in the Moodle community that are very popular, and so depending on if that's a particular plugin that may be advantageous to that particular client, we can also set them up and talk to them about that as well. And then from there, we then look at branding the site to their own style guide or branding. Some people may not have a style guide, so we often say to them, well, you just take us to a site that you'd like us to copy. And we do our best to scrape that, as long as it's not Apple or something like that. But we've had lots of success in branding Moodle sites, and we've got a variety of templates available. And we've got a website that we take our clients to, that they can actually flip between the various themes or brandings that we've created for previous clients, so they can actually see what that particular theme looks like. And we also encourage them. We've got some sample courses on on that theme site, so they can actually go into the course, and then they can flip between the various themes, and they can see how the courseware looks slightly different or reflects differently depending on the sample theme that they've chosen on that website. So that's quite a useful exercise. So so they can get a look and feel of what they can kind of expect depending on the type of theme template that they select. Moving on from there, as I say, here's just a couple of sites that I picked up, and we have a variety of clients. Some being commercial training companies, some being schools, some being clubs and societies. So they all want to display their Moodle sites slightly differently, and some more professional, some more casual. So depending on that, what we try and do is we try and get the essence of what it is that they're trying to do, and we do our very best to try and mimic their requirements onto the Moodle site. I mean, we're pretty successful with that. As I say, we can customize a number of ways of. We like to make the front page the sizzle, as they say, not the sausage. So that's where we do most of the work. And on there we can have things like what we call radio buttons that will take them to specific areas, or we can have sale points and all sorts of different things. We can have scrolling banners to reflect up-to-date pictures of what it is that that site would like to advertise or talk about. So there's a number of samples that, well, later on I'll give you the URL. You can actually go in there yourselves and have a look at some of the themes. And as I say, if you flip to one of our training courses, you'll be able to see how that theme reflects in a particular course. Finally, in relation to our branding, all our brands, all our themes that are created are responsive. So what that implies is that basically behind the scenes there's a particular theme for a desktop, there's a particular theme for something like a tablet, and then there's a theme again for an iPhone or a mobile device. So that's what they mean by responsive themes, and all our themes are responsive, so the clients kind of like that as well. And you could easily test that out even just on the desktop by squeezing down the width of the browser. The theme will respond automatically in front of you, so you can just see how that reflects. Okay, moving on. On top of that, so now we've set up the site, we've installed some useful plugins, we've branded the site, we've themed it, and again there are some people out there that provide Moodle services up to that point, but on top of that we now provide what we call support, and there's two areas of support. There's technical support and help desk support. Technical support is the behind the scenes IT tasks that need to be carried out. We do a monthly upgrade of all our sites, applying patches, updating the server with the latest software, all these behind the scenes type exercises. And they're minor upgrades as opposed to major upgrades. The difference is Moodle comes out with a minor upgrade, which means a change to their code roughly once a week. But every 6 months they come out with a major release, and that major release includes additional functionality that didn't exist before. Now, we offer our clients the ability to do a major upgrade once a year, and for us that's quite an involved process. We would create a test environment for our clients. We would copy their production site into that test environment. We would update that site to the latest major upgrade, and then we would do some testing on that. We would identify things like any plugins that may not be working, or even just the way that the site is displayed, and work out the impact that the major upgrade has had on that test site. Once we've done that, we would have a report, go back to the client and say, oh, just let you know that there's a couple of plugins that may not work because they haven't been upgraded for that particular version, or if they have been upgraded, we would upgrade that on the test site for them. We would then give the client the opportunity to test that test site. So we give them a week or so to go in there, and we encourage them to test things like plugins, test one activity type on that site, just to make sure that it's behaving the way that they expect it to behave. Because obviously clients would set things up in a particular way, expecting the site to behave in a particular way, and sometimes a major upgrade may impact the way that that process is works. So we encourage them. So after, say, 2 weeks of them having a good test and look around, should they find any issues, we would then address those issues. If it involves remedying those issues, we would do that as well. We would apply those fixes to the test environment, and then eventually the client would sign off on the test site. And once they've done that, we would then go to the production site and then upgrade the production site and apply any patches or fixes or changes that we applied to the test site to that production site. So as I say, it's a little bit of an involved process, but the purpose of that is to ensure that they upgrade smoothly without any interruptions and so forth. On top of that, we do the typical 7-day backups, and we keep one Sunday for the previous Sundays as well. So we used to keep a whole lot more backups, but what we find is most people never go that far back, so we've just changed that a little bit. And these backups are not just backup of their Moodle site, but they're backup of the entire server. So because when we set up a web server for our clients, we just don't put Moodle on there, but we say to them, you have a web server. So some people will put on their Joomla sites or put on other applications. Some people will use that server for their mail. So it's a full web server, so whatever you can do on a web server. So when we say we back it up, we back up the entire server image. Should we have a problem with that server hardware, we've got the entire image from the previous day that we can then restore to another server for disaster recovery purposes. So that's all backed up. And as I said, the other technical support that we provide, should a client be interested in a particular plugin, they would just ring us up and they would request, and we would manage the installation of those plugins and checking them. We kind of police our sites a little bit in relation to plugins, because we know there are a couple of dodgy plugins, not dodgy, but maybe plugins that haven't been updated to the most recent version of Moodle, which then may in turn cause the site to have some issues, and we don't like our sites having issues. So we kind of strongly recommend that if some plugins are not suitable, that they not be installed. And so in a sense, we kind of police those plugins as well. On top of that, we have an online ticketing system. So there's a support at pukunui.com. We'll send any emails to that ticketing system, and we have a team of help desk staff that respond to those tickets in appropriate manners. If they're priority ones, we drop everything and we jump on it straight away, and priority 2, priority 3 type support. Typically, the help desk, we have a help desk system in place where people ring us up or send us emails or tickets asking us how to this and how to that, how to get my grades working or how to get something working. So that's the type of help desk support we provide. We're mindful that we have new clients that when they're really fresh to Moodle, we try and encourage them to do some training first, because otherwise they end up talking and asking us all these questions in the beginning, and they end up using their support hours, because obviously there's a lot of support hours for the types of packages that we offer. So we do encourage them to do some training, and we can talk about the types of training we offer. But typically, the help desk is for like the how-to questions, or they're stumped. Maybe one of their teachers said their grades have disappeared, and the administrator tried to have a look at it, and they couldn't understand what was going on, so they would escalate that to us. As well as we provide phone support. So sometimes if we need to hold someone's hand through the process of installing a particular component, or installing a particular component on a course, we would hold their hand through that process, or do it online as well. So that's the technical and the help desk support that we offer. Moving on, as I said, we also so that was hosting and support, which is the first of the 3 services we offer. The second of the 3 services we offer is training, and what we've offered in the past, or what we currently offer as well, are formal training courses. There are 3 courses that we offer, called the Course Creator, the manager course and the masterclass. The course creator is basically for someone who doesn't know how to use Moodle in creating their course content, and so we would go methodically through each of the components in Moodle and train them on how to do that. That's a 2-day course that we run in most capital cities in Australia and also overseas, and so the course creator is designed for the people creating the course content. The manager training is another 2-day course which handles the management of the site, which means how do I organize my students, how do I organize my site, organize plugins, so there's a whole lot of information available of the specific content of those courses on our website, should you want to go there. I could go through it, but that's too boring. And the masterclass is just a 1-day course. Basically, it's more of a advanced course that says, okay, I know the basics of Moodle, but now how do I enhance my Moodle to be better than what it is? And so we would then cover some masterclass type topics and extend the functionality of your Moodle site. And as I say, that's like a 1-day course that we would run as well. So they're courses that we run in training facilities like Saxon's in Australia, for example, and there'd be classes between, say, 8 to 12 people that would attend that at any given time. Moving on from there, we also, there isn't a slide missing maybe. No, moving from there, we also provide training in relation to Skype training or one-on-one training. What I mean by that is we sometimes have clients in remote locations who can't make it to capital cities, so we offer a one-on-one type sessions, normally charge an hourly rate, where one of our trainers will go up on Skype or Outlook or Big Blue Button, this product here, and provide that one-on-one training for them. And that's been proven to be quite successful. We've only started offering that recently. And also another area of training is we can go on site. So should an organisation have 5, 10, 20 people, whatever the case may be, they can get us out on site, and we would call that consulting effectively. So what we would do is tailor a training session for them. Specifically, we would do some investigations first to find out what it is that they're trying to achieve, and we would tailor the courseware to make sure that it would achieve those objectives. And that's also quite popular with the larger organisations. Also more cost effective for them rather than sending people on these individual courses. We just send one of our trainers out to them. The third area of our business, I did have some more slides on training, they've disappeared. The third area is in relation to custom solutions. We find that there are a number of customers who, while Moodle is very good at delivering learning management system and delivering it very well, they need a little more. So they may require some custom reports, they may require some CPD points, they may be requiring some government reports or whatever the case may be. So what we do is we have a development team here that is able to create Moodle plugins specific to a client's requirements, and so we can do basically anything in relation to that. So depending on the types of requirements that they have, a bulk of our development is also integration. Moodle is very good in relation to integrating with other systems, because while Moodle appreciates it does LMS really well, it also appreciates that it doesn't want to do anything else. So it opens itself up to be easily connected to other systems. And so things from authenticating and single sign-on to the basic types of integrations we find, whether they're with student management system, HR systems, or RTO systems, is typically they're wanting user information to go into Moodle from their proprietary systems. They're wanting enrollment information to be facilitated into Moodle from their proprietary systems, and then they want Moodle to return back grades and completion data. So typically that's the scope of the type of integration work we would potentially do for our clients. Now, these integrations are with a number of companies that we've worked with or are currently working with. They've just got a few logos there, including RTO providers, business processing software companies, HR systems, student management systems. So, and what we find is each of these systems are slightly different, so we're able to tailor a solution specific to their requirements and create some web services if need be, or CSV files and batch jobs. And so, yeah, we're very flexible in the types of solutions that we offer. Now, our methodology for doing types of development, and typically it's an old school methodology, only because I'm old school and I handle all the development. We have a two-phased approach. It's an analysis phase and a development phase. Within the analysis phase, we always believe it's good for us to create a specification document that outlines things like your screen designs, your business rules and stuff like that. And so we work closely with our clients to design that solution, and then we present them that solution. I always say that by the time I've done that document, or we've done that document, the client should be able to read that and understand it, because that document has been created from the ideas and information that that client has provided. So if they don't understand the document, then we haven't done our job right. But the beauty of that document is that it then scopes the amount of work that is expected. So we as developers will know what is in scope and what's out of scope. The client has no unrealistic expectation, because basically the specification document outlines exactly what they will get and what they won't get. And the beauty of that also is that because the scope is nailed right down, we are able to provide them with a fixed price contract, and they like that as well. We all like that. So that's why I put a lot of emphasis on the analysis phase, because it means we can do a lot of toing and froing on paper before we even get the developer involved. So by the time the developer is involved, the solution is pretty well nutted out. It may need some fine tuning along the way, but predominantly most of it has been resolved. Now, we develop our plugins as Moodle plugins, so that they would plug in onto the side of Moodle. So we don't actually write spaghetti code throughout the core code of Moodle, because obviously if you were to do that, the next time you upgrade, all your codes would disappear. So we write these plugins according to the Moodle plugin guidelines that are out there. And again, we would create a test environment for our clients. So we would go to their production site, we would copy their production site into a test environment. We would then test that the deliverables that they've asked for once we've finished developing it, and they would then have an opportunity to do the user acceptance testing on there. Once they've signed off on that, we would then apply those changes to their production site. So that's our basic methodology. It's nothing over complicated, but one that works very well for us. Okay. Well, basically, in summary, they're the three services that Pukunui offers, and while we have 500 plus clients, we believe that our clients mostly are very happy with the services we provide, and we aim to build a relationship with our clients foremost. We like to chat to the administrators of the sites to make sure that they are being looked after, and that they're not alone in their LMS journey, and if they are, then we would obviously do a little bit of hand-holding to get them up to speed in relation to being comfortable with their Moodle site. I've got a couple of links in the bottom of the page there, one being our corporate page, one being our Australia site page, and the other one being our theme sample page, which is quite a good one. If you go there, you'll see as you scroll down, there's I don't know, 50 or so customer icons, and as you click on them, that particular Moodle site will reflect that client's theme. And as I said, there's some sample courses on that site as well. So once you flip to a client's theme, you can then go and look at the various sample courses to see how that reflects. And so you're more than welcome to have a look at that. So now, would there be any questions in relation to anything that I've presented? No. Lovely. right. Well, that's it. Is an echoing?
Hi Dom, this is Vinny from iMoot and Pukunui, obviously. I just thought I'd chip in and just to add, and for those of you that don't know this, we have offices in 3 countries. So as well as the Australian company, we've got offices over in Hong Kong and also Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, which is where I'm based. So we're truly global company. So I guess if there's no questions, or if Dom, if you want to add anything else.
No, I'm happy to answer any questions offline, or I've got the email address there if you want to ask any specific questions. Happy to answer them for you. We've got a phone number there if you want to give us a call as well. We'd be happy to address any issues that you may have as well.
Okay, so thanks very much, Dom, for giving us a nice overview, a nice outline of what we do, and I hope you guys listening found it useful, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of the iMoot.
All right. I think there is one question in chat. Do we have a US office? Not yet. That's from Carrie. So is Carrie still there? Yes, she is. So no, we don't have an office just yet, unfortunately. There are some there's some nice Moodle partners in Moodle that offer some great services, and we have in the past offered services to the US, to US clients, people in Alaska as well. So we've got clients all over the world. In the Middle East, in Europe, up in Asia. And these days with the web, it's not that difficult to offer these services. All right. Okay. Thank you, Vinny.
Okay, cheers, guys. I'll end the recording. Thanks again, Dom. Thanks for your time today for presenting.
See you then.